there, and welcome to the Seven Figure Authorpreneur Podcast, where we empower authors with tools, resources, and inspiration to build prosperous book brands. I am your host, Sophia Robinson, and today we will be interviewing Sophia Rodriguez. Oh my goodness, guys, we have Sophia on the podcast today. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am so excited. I cannot wait to talk about our topic today, guys. Guess what we're going over? We're going to be interviewing the style expert on how to create a magnetic style to reach your market. Woo, woo, woo. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and how you got your start, Sophia.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say I'm very excited as well. This is so exciting to be on a podcast. So like you said, my name is Sophia Rodriguez and my business is the Style Studio, Personal Styling. And I honestly, I went to school for fashion design way back when, and I have to say I did not love it. It was not where I thought at first I was like, I had these dreams in high school. Like, I want to be this big time fashion designer. But when I got to school and I saw all the process, I was like, oh, no, back it up. Not for me. But what I did fall in love with was styling and putting together outfits. As I interned or volunteered at fashion shows, or even when as most college people do, you work retail for a little money on the side. I found that I actually really liked retail. I really enjoyed dressing many different women, right? And kind of learning about their journey and why they needed help. I think that was really impactful for me when I was younger, kind of in my early 20s, and really, understanding, especially for women who have, that have children. I had children pretty young, so I knew early on what it was like to have your body change and what it means to have your wardrobe change with your lifestyle and kind of matching those two, making sure that you have things in your closet that suit your everyday needs. So I stayed in retail for a really long time. I eventually also ended up co-owning my own boutique with some business partners that were not in Florida. So it really, really helped, I guess. It was a learning curve, not knowing how to run a business, I'd say, just, a few years out of college. And they're like, we have this business here, take it. And I kind of worked my way up into becoming a partner. I just want to say that I did not just come into this retail space and be like, bam, I know what I'm doing. It did take me years to get there. And I do have to say my favorite part, again, was finding my clients, creating that relationship with my clients, making sure they come back, dressing them for all different kinds of occasions and events and anything that they needed help with. And I think from there, that really, really honed in my aesthetic styling. I also, during that my time at the boutique, I also had my own side hustle of taking product-based businesses, really only jewelry designers, and creating a concept for them and kind of, understanding their ideal client and what they wanted out of that ideal client, and kind of understanding their collection and what it's supposed to convey and the feeling it's supposed to evoke. And then how do we dress the model to say that and kind of let me see what I mean, send the right message, right? That I really learned how to do all that. And as I continued on my journey, long story short, left the boutique and I started my own, I started the Style Studio. And then within there, I kind of niched down into branded styling because that was really organically where my clients were coming from. They were just business owners or entrepreneurs. And they were like, I don't know how to dress. I don't know what to wear to this speaking engagement. I don't know what to wear to this networking thing. And that really just yeah, that really is where I'm at. And it really came organically where I was like, how did this happen? I'm still shocked, honestly, how I entered this space. And I really have to thank God for that. I was like, I prayed for it and he answered. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's my journey in a nutshell.
What a beautiful start. And thank you so much for taking the time to share it with us. We can tell that you have a lot of passion about styling, and we can't wait to tap into it in this interview. So before we dive in, I had one additional question. How long have you been a personal stylist?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm so sorry. For over 10 years. It's funny you asked me that because I've been saying 10 years for a really long time. And I'm like, oh my God, Sophia, you've been saying 10 years for like 5 years now. So I'm like, I've changed it to 10 plus.
Wow, so we got 10 plus years of expertise here, guys. Get your pens and paper out. Let's go to our next important question. Why is your personal style so important?
Yes. Okay. So we're going to back it up and just talk about clothing for 5 seconds here, real quick. So, clothing, before we head into personal style, clothing serves a few purposes. So, clothing is a basic human need, right? It's an essential. We need it. We're going to buy it anyways, right? So, on the flip side, clothing is also a form of expression. It's an art form. And, the items we pick and the way we choose it to put it together, it tells a story, right? And it sends a strong visual image of who we are. So really, to answer your question, why is personal style so important? It's important because we want to make sure that we're sending the right message, especially when it comes to entrepreneurs and businesswomen, authors, or just the workforce in general. We want to try to control the narrative of our story through our appearance and the way people see us.
So I want to explore something you said a little more for our listeners. Specifically, how does style reflect your message as an author?
Yes. Good. Okay. Great question. I think especially for authors, it's very important because if we're not sending the right message, right, it's almost like we're putting that like an unintentional wall between you and your audience. So I think it's important for for authors to have the right style to not only connect with themselves, but then to also connect with their audience. You want to not only be able to attract your audience with your words, but visually as well. And making sure, going back to that storytelling, making sure you're telling that right story and then connecting that to your brand identity.
So I'm gonna do a confession / tap into perhaps something that maybe some of our listeners are feeling while we're exploring this topic. I recall in my own journey in discovering my personal style, I felt like an enormous amount of pressure. So much pressure that it almost felt like it wasn't worth it. I felt like I was being unauthentic, trying to become so intentional with my style. I didn't understand how much what I wore as a author expressed who I am as an author. Can you share in your own words, based off of your expertise, how does style actually help an author connect with their ideal audience? That's the first part of the question. And the second part is, and how do you stay true to yourself while serving what your ideal audience needs to see?
Oh, okay. Great question. So, all right. So your first one was, how does it connect to your ideal client? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So choosing to be authentically you, I know it's way easier said than done. Way easier said than done. But once you figure that out, I'm trying to make sure I'm answering the question correctly. Once you choose to dress authentically, you making sure that you're not trying to put yourself in something that you would never wear in real life. That's not going to do anything for you, your audience, nothing, especially if you're let's say taking photos, or you're like at a media thing and everyone's taking photos. If you're uncomfortable and you're not really dressing authentically, you're not going to be relatable to your audience. They're not going to be able to connect with you. And I mean that by, thinking about your brand and thinking about trying to tie it into like an author kind of sense, thinking about what you wrote and the type of books that you're writing, what you have to say. Excuse me. You really have to make sure that, visually you're saying the same thing, right? Because your appearance is going to be saying a lot of things that you're not actually saying. So making sure that if you're writing about being authentic and being true to yourself and all this kind of stuff, actually live that out. Take the time to know who you are. At least try to know who you are. Taking the time to figure out what you like and don't like, which that's actually harder than it sounds. Many women, when I ask them, what do you like or what you don't like? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, do you like this? And they're like, I have no feelings about it. I'm like, okay, well, you have to have some sort of feeling, because if you don't have feeling connected to what you're choosing to wear, how are you supposed to show up authentically, number one, for your audience? How are you supposed to be relatable? You can't be relatable, right? So that's kind of, did I answer that correct?
Yeah, that was really, really good. And as you were speaking, something came to my mind that I want to just put out there as a thought. I just gathered that style is a message. It's a message. And we as authors have the power to decide what we want it to say. This is how it helps us connect to our readers. Let's take my brand, for example. I am an ambassador for prosperity. I like to promote the message that as a self-published author, you can prosper. And what does prospering look like? You're having a healthy emotional life, a healthy spiritual life, a healthy physical life, a healthy financial life. And when you see me, it's important that I look the part authentically of the message that I'm conveying. So guys, we are not sharing this to put unnecessary pressure or anxiety or worry or stress or make you go take out a loan. No, we're helping you to explore what it means to convey the visual aspect of your written message. I hope that connected with you guys. Let's explore some more, guys. So, is it important for an author to remain consistent in their brand style in order to enjoy the impact of having a powerful, well-respected brand identity?
Yes, I absolutely think it's very important to stay consistent, because when you stay consistent in your style and in the way that you show up for your business, or however you show up in that way, yes, because it builds trust between you and your intended audience. It builds, consistency, builds trust, and then from there, yeah, I think that's really important. You want your audience to be able to trust you in more than one way. So show up consistent and show up, have that style be consistent, and that also makes you memorable. Right? Being, that way, if you have a specific style, you'll be memorable. So when people see you here and there, they're like, oh, that's so Sophia. I could see Sophia in that. Oh my gosh, I think that's really important. Yeah.
Wow, just as you're speaking, it's like stimulating all sorts of stuff in me. Guys, what I gathered from what Sophia just said is that she said, when we are consistent with our style, it builds trust. And let me share something with you all. If your readers trust you, they will listen to you. And if they listen to you, that means they are buying into investing into what you are selling. So
Absolutely.
style matters. Style matters. Style matters. Wow, wow, wow. What would you say are the top three most significant challenges to finding your style?
Okay. If I may interject here, there's something I do want to like throw in there. I think when it's your brand identity is absolutely essential because think about other people's brand like product based packaging. The package that they choose to dress up is intentional, like a ketchup bottle or a foundation bottle or something. That is their colors, the font, all of that is very intentional. You are the package of the business. You are the brand. So you should be choosing things that are intentional and strategic. Just don't throw on whatever and go out networking. Don't throw on whatever and go meet your publisher. Don't do that. Create a style that speaks to your personality and then ties in your brand so that you are the full package. You are living, breathing, walking the brand itself.
And that's
I
just
had to
a,
throw that in.
no, that's really, really good because that lands us right back at what's the top three challenges to finding your style.
Okay, so knowing what looks good on you and on your body type. Loving yourself for today, right? For what, dressing your body for the person that you are today, not a month from now, not next week, not when you lose 20 or 30, 40 pounds. No. Number two, actually knowing what you like and don't like. I know I said this previously, but it is astonishing the amount of women who really just don't know. And then the third thing is that they're so afraid of trying new things. That is such a big challenge. I always say, girl, if you don't like something, then take it off. You're not forced to buy it, right? Or you can always return it. But try something new. You don't know if you actually like it or don't like it until you try it. And then once you try it on, play with it. Try it different ways. You might feel silly for a little bit, but at least you tried it. And if you don't like it, you can move on and just take it off.
That's so good. I've got to share, guys. As you know, I'm always confessing and sharing. So, I remember with my makeup artist, she's like the one that promotes me to trying something new the most. Because if you leave it to me, I've got the colors I like and the way I like to wear it. So what we have now is this really trusted relationship where she'll just say, if you tell me what you're wearing, then I'll take it from there. So I came in and I'm like, okay, I'm wearing black and white. Boom. And before we're done, she's like, now, are you okay with us being bold with your lips? My inside is like, but I have big lips. I don't know how bold I want to be because they're big and I don't want people to be like drawn to my lips. She looked me in my eyes and she said, will you trust me? Now, the scary part of me is like, heck no, put on something I know I'm going to look good in. And the courageous part of me is like, I'm going to give it a try. So I'm like, yes. She pulls out purple. Guys, I have never in my life worn purple lipstick and I wanted to ball up like a wingworm and just cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's putting purple on my lips. How can I tell her to take this off? And I do the slowest 360 turn to the mirror because I'm like, I'm probably going to look like a stupid idiot. But I get over there and I'm like, it's not that bad.
No.
The moral of the story, guys, even in the humor of it, it's to reinforce what Sophia just said. Sometimes you need others to help you see the beauty in your own self. If I just trusted my own voice and my own thoughts and styling myself 100%, I probably would never reflect the message that's written in my book. But because I invite other people into the process who I do build a rapport and trusted relationship with, and they help challenge me to try different things, love myself for today, know what looks good on me, even if I've never tried it before, and not, it's just been life changing for me. So I had to share that to really encourage you guys that this stuff works. Now, how would you say does our clothing influence the perceptions people have of us?
Okay, I like this one. So you are what you wear. And making like ask yourself, what are we communicating, right? Because like I said, we're making visual statements. And I'm sure, as we know, if you don't, let's say you walk in a room, a whole bunch of people you don't know, they're going to be making judgments immediately, right? So they're going to be looking at us at how confident we look, how successful we look. What we wear is saying something about our identity. So if we show up, well, let me back up. I really encourage people to think, how do you want to feel and how do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as powerful, successful, relatable, fun, funky, strong, sexy? We can go on. Think about how you want to be perceived, then get dressed from there.
And that slides right into our next question. Is style just what you wear?
No. Style is everything. Style can just be the way you choose to live your life. It can be the way that your house is decorated. Look at interior designers. That's a lot of style. The way you behave, the way your grooming habits, it's all style. They're just in different, think about cars and all that, it's a way of life too.
Wow. I am just loving this one, guys, because I have went through all different phases and tug of wars and pity parties when it comes to styling, but I am a living witness that style is so much more than what we wear. I believe I've heard Sophia say this before, and I'm probably going to just put my own little mojo on it. But we wear the clothes, they don't wear us. So that relieves us from the pressure of, I'm not putting this on to impress someone. I'm putting this on because it's who I am. And I'm choosing to intentionally show up as who I am consistently, whether I'm going to the grocery store, the pharmacy, out to eat, to a business meeting. That I should be proud and take an honor in showing up as who I am. And I literally have listened to Sophia, so I'm like preaching her message. I just want you to know.
Yes, I love it. I love that you said that because, from our previous conversations of that 7-figure style,
Yes.
that really that applies to your whole life. That's that kind of mentality that any client can be around the corner. Your new next project, Publix, Target, gas station. And when you show up looking the best you can, in all aspects of your life. Now, I really want to back up and say you do not have to be always dressed to the nines. It's really about being authentic and loving yourself enough to show up the best that you can. And that you can still be an athleisure and still be looking great. It's just depending on where you're going, but it's really just the whole lifestyle. You know what I mean? I never know who you're going to be.
I'm so sorry. We were both excited to say something, but I have to share this. After one of my conversations with Sophia, because I have the privilege of having a business relationship with her where I get to talk with her and pick her brain, I was convicted to go into my closet and I got rid of 3 garbage bags of clothes. Now, you may say, why? You know why I did it? I was so convicted that I had been so casually taken for granted my style. And I wanted to remove the temptation of me going out and looking like somebody who I'm not. I didn't want it near me. I didn't want it in my closet anymore. I had to get rid of it because I had made a commitment to be consistent in my life, whether I'm going to the gym or I'm going to a gala. I am going to consistently show up as the Octoria who's on social media, who's on the website, who's at conferences. I am going to be who I am. And I'm hoping, guys, that we are inspiring you at whatever level you're at to make that same decision, that my message is so important that I want to commit not just in words or in moments on social media, but I want to commit to consistently showing up for my audience as who I am. Wow. Woo, woo.
Woo! I loved it. Sweating.
Yes. Now, guys, I know you guys are enjoying this, but we are wrapping it up. And Sophia's about to give us 7 steps to defining your personal style. Go for it.
All right. So number 1, listen, know what you have in your closet. And just like what Victoria says, clean out, take anything out that doesn't serve you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Don't force it, right? Number 2, figure out how you want to feel. Write it down. Write it down if you must. Put it in your notes. How do you want to feel? Number 3, what message do you want to send? What's your story? Connect it back to your brand. Number 4, knowing how you want your wardrobe to serve you. Do you want an extended wardrobe that you have a lot of things to pick from, accessories, shoes, what have you? Or do you want a capsule wardrobe that it's easy breezy, that no matter what you choose, it's all going to go together? You have to figure that out. Then create a mood board on Pinterest. I love Pinterest, of styles that you like, right? Try to figure out what your style is. Just start pinning anything that you like, ideas. It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter if it's for your body type or not. Just choose things that you like, put it in a board. That's creating a plan. Number 6, try new things and figuring out your style personality. When you go to try on stuff in person, just try on things you thought you would never wear. You never know, you might love it, but right now you know nothing about it, right? So buy with intention. Stay away from the super duper trendy, crazy items. They're not going to last. And all you're saying by wearing super trendy outfits that's going to go out of style soon is that you're also trendy and you're going to go out of style soon. You know, don't forget those details. So those are my 7 steps.
Wow, wow, wow. And trust me, guys, if you will commit to implementing, you will experience a powerful transformation, not just externally, because style is really a reflection of what you're feeling and experiencing on the inside. So you're going to be transformed from the inside and you'll be shining on the outside. Now, Sophia, is there a resource or a tool that you can point our listeners to continue to grow in this topic?
Absolutely. So I will have to say my website is still down for some updates, but don't hesitate to reach out via email. My email is sophia@thestylestudio.me. Or you can reach me on my Instagram, any kind of social media, on Facebook as well. But I think if you really, for the listeners out there that really want to explore more and learn more, I would love to tell you more about my brand identity and develop packagement. So that's really, I think, honing in on choosing a style for your business and how you want to show up. And it's really more planned out. I think that's a great tool. I think it's a great starting point to a style journey.
Wow, wow, wow. So, guys, you've heard it from the style expert herself. I believe we are leaving encouraged, challenged, and inspired. Once more, Sophia, I want to thank you for being a guest. We're definitely going to have you back. I'm sure of it. But until then, guys, let's implement, let's execute, and let's prosper together, authors.